Commercial real estate firms cannot hire fast enough right now, and the competition for qualified young talent is huge in the industry today. And if you have what it takes to land a job in the business and you're looking for a new role right now, it's a very real possibility that you might end up with multiple different offers and a very short window of time to choose your next move. And if you're still relatively new to the industry or looking to land your first full-time job in commercial real estate, the next job you take can have a major long-term impact on where your career ultimately ends up. So to make sure you're choosing the best opportunity available among multiple different offers, or if you're just trying to decide whether to say yes or no to a single offer on your plate, in this video, let's walk through 3 of the most important questions that you should be asking yourself when choosing between job offers and how to pick the best possible path for you. So to start this list off, I'm a really big fan of beginning with the end in mind and using job opportunities to get paid to learn what you ultimately want to be doing at a much higher level in your career in the future. And with that as the goal, when choosing between job offers, the first question I'd recommend asking yourself to make an informed decision on where you should head next is, where will I learn the things I need to learn to achieve my long-term goals? And before you can even answer this, you really need to get clear on where you want to end up in the future, specifically in the areas of geographic location, real estate product type, and the specific job function that you want to become an expert in. Ground up development is a very different game than acquisitions. Your network in Nashville probably isn't going to be transferable to New York City, and if you want to be the chief investment officer at a multifamily investment firm, starting out in portfolio management at a company focused on industrial assets probably isn't going to be an optimal move. Now, obviously, you can't be expected to know exactly what you'd want to be doing 20, 30, or 40 years into the future, especially if this is your first position in the business, but just coming up with a rough picture of what you'd like to be doing and where you'd like to be doing it is going to be a huge help in getting clarity when making a decision. Now, getting clear on your long-term goals is a big part of choosing the right offer, but it's not the only consideration that you'll need to make, and who you'll be working with is also something you want to factor in. And with that, when choosing between multiple competing offers, the second question you want to ask yourself before making a decision is, who will I be working with and which team feels like the best fit? I've talked about this on the channel before, but who you learn from matters a lot, and working directly under someone with 10 years of experience at Blackstone in New York City, for example, is going to be a significantly different experience for you than working under someone who's relatively new to the industry in general, or someone who cut their teeth in the business at a small local firm. Being around smart, seasoned professionals can be one of the best ways to level up in the industry really quickly by leveraging the experience and also the network of the people that you're working for. Working with people you like and respect also increases the likelihood that you're going to end up staying at the company you're working for a longer period of time, which can also pay dividends from a compensation perspective. Employees that stay put and grow within the same company for a long period of time are usually the ones who start to see opportunities to participate in the fees and promoted interest the company earns on their deals, which is often where the biggest money is made within commercial real estate. Just 2% of a $2 million promote check is $40,000, and when you're buying even just 5 to 7 deals per year, these amounts can really start to snowball as these projects go full cycle over time. Now, long-term goals and who you'll be working with are important, but the last question on this list is something that I think is overlooked a lot during the process, especially by recent college graduates who think this just isn't something they need to worry about yet, and this is, which offer makes the most sense for the season of life that I'm in. If you're 22 years old with no responsibilities outside of work and you have the time, energy, and desire to work really, really hard for a limited period of time, this is not something you should take for granted, and for most people, this window of opportunity won't always be around. As people get older, family obligations inevitably make it more difficult to stay in the office until 1 a.m. every night, and if this is something you're both able and willing to do right now, this is definitely something to factor into the equation. And alternatively, if you're 32 with young kids and looking to get home for dinner every night, this should also be a legitimate part of the decision-making process, and you don't need to feel guilty for taking a role that gives you the opportunity to balance both your life and your work. It's also important to keep in mind that age doesn't by default make a certain path right or wrong, and not everyone has the same priorities at every stage of their career. So if you're 22 without family responsibilities, but you want to use this time to travel on the weekends and start a side hustle at night, choosing a job with investment banking hours probably isn't going to be the right fit for you. And if you're 32 and want to make sure that your kids are set up financially for life, there's nothing wrong with putting yourself in a position where you have the opportunity to work really, really hard and get compensated very well for making that happen. In my own career, I've turned down job opportunities that on paper have looked significantly better from a pay and prestige perspective than other options I had on the table, but those options didn't check the boxes from an overall life perspective, and that's important too. I know a lot of you guys watching this channel are young, and it might sound like an old guy is trying to lecture you about life, but life satisfaction is directly related to career longevity, and the people who make big money in real estate are the people that have the staying power to stick around long term, and just like your investments compound, so does your career success. And if you put yourself in a position where you're working 100 hours a week just because you think this is what you should be doing at this phase of your career, this is how I've seen people get burnt out in a really big way, sometimes enough to push them to leave the industry altogether. So when choosing between job offers, if you ask yourself the questions, what is the most efficient path towards my long-term goals? Which team is the better fit? And which offer makes the most sense for this season of life? Thinking about these things is going to help you make the right decision for you, and the one that you're going to look back on 5, 10, or 20 years from now and realize that this was the catalyst to getting you to where you ultimately ended up. And if you're just starting to take the first steps in this process and want some help navigating through commercial real estate job applications and interviews, or help with building the technical skill sets you'll need to land a job in the business, as always, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Breaking the CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, and you'll also get access to the Break into CRE Analyst Certification exam, which covers topics like real estate pro forma and development modeling, commercial real estate lease modeling, equity waterfall modeling, and many other real estate financial analysis concepts that will help you prove to employers that you have what it takes to tackle the responsibilities of an analyst or associate at a top real estate firm. And if you like this video and want to see more content on this channel on career moves in the industry, make sure to hit the like button to let me know, and let me know in the comments how you've made decisions between multiple different offers in the past and how those decisions have ultimately ended up. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.